to come back. They just recused Judge Roach, but he's denying a new trial. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would they have all this come out? I don't believe it's been even with what we saw from the Metcalf twins and what we saw with Carmelo Anthony's background. I think, if anything, it made it extremely clear that he deserved a new trial and that the gentleman's handshake was not fair to him at all. So as for now, the 35-year sentence does stand. What do you guys think about this in the comments? I will keep you updated as it keeps coming in, but I'm just honestly in shock. I really believe that he would get a new trial in light of this information that we have seen now. We're not giving up. We're still saying that he deserves a fair trial. We're not saying anything more than that, but he does deserve a fair trial, and I don't believe he got one. I don't believe he got a jury of his peers. That handshake deal left out a lot of information that I think would have made the jury think differently, at least that his sentence should be reduced. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. See,
these people share the same reflection, and what happens is, if they were to give him a new trial and reduce his sentence, or maybe put him on probation or something like that, what they think is that more black people are going to try to recreate what had happened and do unaliving. So I believe it comes from a standpoint of being afraid of the optics of that.
Talking about the alleged Tristan fight on the Horns Island on the sand, and it was alleged by a witness. I'm going to let you listen to the video again, where she is describing that she believed that it was like MMA guys, because it was kind of like that kind of fighting. And so she was saying that as soon as the fight was over or what have you, she said that she witnessed that Nolan was involved in that as well.
We thought they were MMA guys. So that was his exact words, and he was an eyewitness. He said that they left in a hurry.
The MMA guys left in a hurry?
And they left in a hurry after the altercation. He didn't say if they came back.
At that time, that's when Warren said that he was calling his mom, and he had to continuously call her 8 times. He's calling her because he needs help. Then whoever took off in the Palm Beach, because remember, Warren also said on Horn Island that the Palm Beach had left.
Well, I rode out here when I was on the boat, like I told you. I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. To get on the boat with Wyatt.
Who was driving the Palm Beach? Because it wasn't Wyatt, because Wyatt was on the Tito car because he was the alleged, Was it really Warren that was on the Palm Beach? Was it really Warren driving the Palm Beach? I know that Warren was also on the Tito call, but could he have caught up to them?
To the Nolan Wells case, you will see that the media coverage is already starting to die down. His birthday was this week, and as I thought about his birthday, my worst fear really is that all the people that were involved in his disappearance, in his demise, will just go on to have normal lives. That these men will go on to be doctors and lawyers and senators, maybe even a president one day. And then one day they'll just wake up 50, 60 years later on their deathbed and decide that they want to tell the truth. Or his girlfriend might wake up 50, 60, 70 years later when she's in her 80s and 90s on her deathbed and decide that she wants to come forth and tell the full story about what happened to Nolan Wells. And by then, it'll be too late. It'll be too late. His parents would have already had to live that long without him. Most people would already not even know what the case was about at that point. Tell the truth now when it matters.
Breaking news, y'all. As I was making the video, I was scrolling. Breaking news, y'all. Go ahead and get ready to screenshot. Go ahead and get ready to screen record, because you know when information like this come out, they're going to try to erase it. Y'all brace yourself. They saying Nolan Wells, there's a picture with Nolan Wells on the boat with Bart. Bart said he wasn't there, he was in Wyoming some damn way. I'm telling y'all, it's starting to unfold. The Most High is starting to move on this case. Y'all check this out. This is breaking news, y'all. This wasn't even a part of the video.
Hey, I just got back in, and
bombshell. Why we have a photo of Nolan with Bart and a large group of people. And I'm just going to show you real quick because I have questions. Hold on, let's look.
All right, let's examine this, y'all. Let's examine this right here. This is breaking news. That must be Bart right there. What in the world is going on? A large group of friends, including Nolan Xavier Wells, traveled on 3 boats to Horn Island on July 4th. Pictured here is the large group of friends getting ready to get on the boat to head to the island submitted. Alright, y'all. Okay, this being as though that this just came out, I'm going to need more information, but y'all know how I like to give it up. I like to give y'all everything that's out there, and then we'll just dissect everything later on. But I had to hit y'all with this. Let's just see what Royalty's talking about right quick.
Now, I have questions because from what the last thing that I heard Warren, that Nolan was on leaving and went out to Horns Island on the Triton with Wyatt. That's what Warren said. And then, how can the video that I just shared with you guys this morning, how could that be Nolan in the video when Nolan is on another dock with Bart getting ready to head out there to Horns Island? Y'all, what is going on? And then Warren, I'm so confused because how are you saying that how is that your friend? How is that your best friend, your brother from A High, and you're nowhere in the picture? What's really going on?
Before anybody go crazy, we gonna sit down because I know people get confused between the Warren and the Wyatt. Which one is it? Which one is the Triton? Which one is the Palm Beach? Which one is the Triton? I'm gonna start writing this stuff down so we don't be confused, and we gotta start memorizing this stuff because it's all confusing.
Oh my God, guys, I just came to realization. No wonder no witnesses have came out. They're afraid. If you listen to this governor, he came out and threatened Nancy Grace and says, I hope to God nobody gets hurt because of your propaganda. Threatening her, like verbally threatening Nancy Grace. The governor of Mississippi. No wonder. This makes sense why nobody's coming out. No witnesses. They're afraid.
Imagine you growing up in Mississippi and you hearing all the stories, or even you want to come out and speak out about what happened in Nolan Wells, but you're a descendant of all the evil that's been going on, and you know about all the stories and how wicked your people is. So as I was scrolling, there's another angle of the Triton boat, y'all. Check this out.
Major fucking update in the Nolan Wells case. Y'all look, it's in the photo. Restaurant girl, we don't even care anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's the 7th person? He can't be sitting in the chair because that's allegedly Wyatt on the phone call with Cito. The dark hair, glasses. Right here you can see the stripes going on the side of the short. Blue above and bottom. It's like seen right here. But where the fuck is he? Dude in the red shorts allegedly was not on the boat. Where the fuck is he at? He should be right here. And then if he was right there, you'd be able to see him in this area. As you can see the pole right there. Be able to see him in this area or on the other side. In this area or on the other side. Even right here, you'd still be able to see a piece of his body. Major
so Brandon Tatum did say that there was an extension of the video and he chopped it off because he was trying to protect the identity of someone else. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this clip right here.
Me about this Nolan Wells case is the fact that they thought that Nolan Wells' parents would just accept the fact that they said, oh, it was a drowning, and that's it. So if it was a drowning, before he started drowning, he gave y'all his keys and phone, and he went for a swim, but yet they found him fully clothed, face down. That don't even make sense. And the fact that y'all not even trying to tell his mom what happened, because y'all know what happened. And that Cito call, oh man, I know they wish, they mad that whoever released that call. And then for a black woman to dissect dissect the call and be able to hear the background noise and release it to the internet, oh, they big thing. Then these comments just lying, just making up stuff. No, it was just a drowning. It was just a drowning. Oh, okay. So if it was your son, you would accept the fact that it was a drowning. It was drowning, and his friends had his phone, and they just chilling, relaxing, like nothing happened to that lady's son.
I want to see if we can get some more information on that picture that they said that Nolan Wells was with Bart on the boat with. Check this out.
Secret Service Sam here for a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and we have a new picture that has emerged. It is a whole group of people on the 4th of July getting onto what is believed to be Fart Jr.'s boat. But you know who's missing? Warren's missing because that's kind of weird. Maybe it's just me. Maybe a little birdie told me this. Yep, that little birdie of mine says that in Officer Race Tatum's podcast, if you could call it a shitcast, that Warren said he went out on his buddy's boat. And I thought that meant Fart Jr.'s boat, but we don't see Warren here in this picture in my Nancy Grace voice. So what is going on? I am not seeing a horse dragging this cart. Is he inside? Getting White Claws? Chilled out? I don't know, bro.
So that picture is something that we may have to wait for a video to come out, because I don't know why in the previous video they stated that Nolan Wells was on the boat with Bart. So hopefully there's a video attached to it. In some cases it usually is a video, because I don't know anybody who's just walking around snapping shots. That may be a screenshot of a video, y'all. But I did see a video earlier that was posted by someone named Sid Thomas Jr. He played in the NFL, and he did a small documentary style video on Brandon Tatum. And he deep dives into the psychological aspect of Brandon Tatum and his thought patterns, and y'all ain't gonna believe how deep the rabbit hole goes. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to the video so y'all can watch it in full, but check this out, y'all.
The most dangerous moment in a man's life is when he loses the thing that told him who he was. I've been thinking about that ever since I saw this clip of D.L. Hughley responding to Officer Tatum's perspective on the Nolan Wells case.
When you're a black man, they make you hold the shit you used to be, so it holds weight now. He was a football player, failed at that, found his way into police work. He's always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. He's only doing what he's been trained to do.
You get you one of these Trump 2.0 shirts right now.
Only reason people on the right fuck with black people is if they safe. He looks like the kind of man that would have to marry a white woman.
And what he said is facts, and I can say that because I lived it. I understand Brandon and what he's doing.
I'm getting sick of black people, right? I like the black people like me and others that are conservative, that smart, but the rest of y'all, I'm sick of y'all.
We were both faced with the same question that changed our lives. And looking at where his answer took him made me realize there was one question I asked myself that sent us on two completely different routes. So I was a captain at the University of Minnesota. I declared for the 2015 NFL draft, and I was drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and I was the 150th overall pick. I was on practice squad my entire rookie year, and at the end, I decided to go to the New England Patriots for my second year. And then I was released after not playing well against the Chicago Bears, and it was legitimately one of the hardest days of my life. I loved being in New England. I wanted to be on that team so bad, but it just didn't happen. I didn't play well, and it just wasn't I just didn't play well. And that was the first time I was hit with, damn, football can really end for me. This whole thing could be over. And it was tough because that was my whole identity. That's how everybody knew me, from being a little boy all the way until I was 23, 24 years old, and even still now to this day. So if you're not familiar with Brandon Tatum, he's a black conservative political commentator on YouTube. He's from Fort Worth, Texas, and went to Dunbar High School and was a legit prospect. He was an All-American and played in the U.S. Army All-American game, which is the top 78 high school players in the whole country. He then got a scholarship to the University of Arizona, where he played for 5 years. He declared for the 2010 NFL draft only to not get drafted and not get picked up by a team. And that's where his football career ended. It was all over after the University of Arizona. So Brandon in 2010 and me in 2016 were sitting in the same place facing the same exact identity issues that brings up the question that changed our lives. After football, Brandon decided to be a cop in Tucson, Arizona. And from everything I found, he was good at what he did when he was a cop. He was a SWAT operator, a field training officer, a general instructor, and public information officer. He was on the force from 2011 to 2017, which is an interesting time because he went through Ferguson, Eric Garner, and Freddie Gray. All happened while he was there wearing that badge. Then in March 2016, Trump comes to Tucson for a rally. Tatum goes to the rally as a civilian. He doesn't go as a cop. And he posts about a 10-minute video about it.
What's going on Facebook? It's B. Tatum. I'm making this video to give you guys some insight on my experience at a Donald Trump rally.
And that video gets about 1 million views. And even Trump campaign's Facebook page shares it. This is where I think he got his first hit of dope after football. And what I mean by dope, I mean dopamine. For an athlete, that's the drug. The cheers he heard came back instantly. And in some ways, I would say that this is more addictive.
I want y'all to think about the movie Him with Marlon Wayans.
Because when you leave the tunnel and you leave the field, you don't hear your name being streamed anymore. But on social media, you can constantly refresh it over and over, and you see the comments and the likes and the DMs from these people who are cheering for you, who want you to win. Then on September 24th, 2017, he posted a 7-minute video about NFL players kneeling. 2 days after the president stood on the stage in Alabama and said owners should get those players off the field.
He's gonna say, that guy that disrespects our flag, he's fired.
That video does 70 million views. And of course it did. A black man, a former football player, a working police officer, taking the other side against a black quarterback. That was the exact voice a whole lot of people were looking for and couldn't do themselves. 1 month after that video, October 2017, he resigns from the police department. From there, he signs with Liftable Media, which runs the Western Journal and the Conservative Tribune. Turning Point USA hires him at the end of March of 2018 as Director of Urban Engagement. Then he does Blexit with Candace Owens, and then by late 2019, he's out on his own with his own media company, where now he's amassed over north of 8 million followers. He got an alley-oop from everybody. And look, I'm not saying he didn't earn anything. Nothing about his story says that he's lazy or he doesn't work hard. But the work isn't the part that stuck with me. It's the lane that he chose. When this stuff shows up in my feed, it's almost always a story about black people, and it's almost always the worst version of it. That became the job. He's the guy who says the thing about black folks that a certain crowd can't say out loud themselves. That's what I couldn't get past. And the more I looked at how he got there, the more I realized I know exactly where it started. Because it started in the same place for me. When football ended, I didn't know it yet, but I was about to choose my whole life with one question. I did not ask, what do I like doing? I asked myself, what did I like doing? What do I like doing isn't a bad question. It's just the wrong question at that specific moment when you're transitioning, trying to figure out who you are. Because when you ask, what do I like doing? You're looking outwardly and you're looking to figure out what do you like doing and grasping on the things that you think are just for you. And when you ask, what do I like doing? It automatically makes you do that. It makes you look outward. What did I like doing is the right question because it makes you look internally. It makes you think about who you were before somebody told you who you are, before the number that they gave you.
So the link will be in the description for that breakdown. And what he goes into is that if you're doing this for the wrong reasons, you're gonna lose yourself behind it. Where you initially started from and you had a love for something, but you don't continue as that, you're gonna lose yourself along with your morals and your purpose and your integrity. So to break it all down, he's saying that Brandon Tatum is doing what he's doing for money. He's doing it for the dopamine rush because that's what athletes like. They like that rush of the notoriety, being known and people screaming your name. And being as though that Brandon Tatum had left football, left being a police officer, he held on to anything that involves people cheering his name. Even though his own community is not cheering his name, there is a side that he's speaking up for that's sharing his name. We need you, Brandon. We'll give you all the views, all the likes, everything you need. All you do is have to speak and say the things that we can't come out and say. And now y'all see where the mindset of Brandon Tatum is. Shout out to this brother for breaking down Brandon Tatum. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. Y'all make sure y'all watch that video in full, because it gets way deeper than that. But y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Carmelo Anthony, and let me know what y'all think about these new photos. Do y'all think that it's a video attached that shows Nolan with Fart? Is Fart, because remember, Fart said he was in Wyoming somewhere in the beginning. So now all of a sudden you lowering up and you was around and you got the string from your boat to his boat, and now things are starting to look like an alibi. But y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the video. Make sure you hype, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.
There's this little thing called the Epstein Files. There's a lot of people that have been found liable, charged, all kinds of stuff, from Prince Andrew and Peter Mandelson, from Norwegian officials, the former prime minister, and the former ambassador, all these different people, right? Some would argue, especially since there was international trafficking that was taking place, some would argue that our president, whose name is found over and over and over and over in these files, may have engaged in, say, child trafficking, sex trafficking. They may come to that conclusion. We're going to start with the fact that Tupac famously said, for those of you that didn't necessarily listen to rap, that we've got money for war, but we can't feed the poor. And the reason that I bring this up is for two reasons. Number one, in order to get Maduro, the estimated cost is $3 billion. I can guarantee you that a lot of Americans would say, yes, there's a valid warrant and things like that, but for the cost of $3 billion, let's put our money somewhere else.
All right, after this, I'm probably going to take a couple days off because my brain needs a rest after the last couple of days. Now we know for sure that there was storage in the bow of the boat. All right, so now at this point, I am pretty sure that the Triton was there all day. They didn't switch out the boats. And I'm also pretty certain at this point that this is a real video, because there's one single frame where you can see Bart's boat and you can also see the toes of somebody like dangling them off the water. So if the picture or video were AI, it would be a really bizarre thing for it to just kind of throw in. But there's zero question in my mind that this video has been altered. So then the question becomes, why would they alter this video? And the only thing that logically makes sense to me is to alter the identity of the two girls. Because if Carter is the boy in red, Wyatt is the boy in the American shorts, Bart's brother Brooke being the one in the navy blue shorts, and then Ike being the one in the teal shorts. Then we've got Warren up here with somebody in this red striped swimsuit and the girl in the teal swimsuit with the backwards hat. So in this picture, this would be Brooks, this would be Ike, this would be Wyatt, this would be Warren, which would leave this to be Carter. And whoever this is seems to be very cuddly with Carter. Like, too cuddly, in my opinion, for it to be like a mother or a family member. Thinking about it a lot from the timeline that we have been told, and what we haven't really been factoring in again is the party. Because remember, Warren said he went to the party, but instead of talking with all of his friends, he went upstairs to go talk with his girlfriend's dad. Now, those families are tight, so if that dad of Ava, if that conversation with the dad didn't happen, then they would automatically know that they were lying. So I've been saying for a while that the girl was somehow involved. And mind you, everybody's back on land now. They're getting ready to do the fireworks, and everybody's swimming and drinking still, blah, blah, blah. So what's the excuse for no
pictures at that party. They've explained it all away during the day, but at this point, they're all just being teenagers having fun again, right? So I'm thinking that the brunette girl is Ava, the girl whose house they went to. And she's pretty close with Warren and the Pyrone family.
And they're full speed running. And then after that, I didn't see them anymore. I think you were on the boat and stuff from there. Yeah, so after we planed off, Wyatt kept the boat pinned the whole way, and we ran to the mouth of Fort Bayou, where we came from originally, and we turned into Fort Bayou, went in the channel, ran probably 500, 600 yards into Fort Bayou. Wyatt had jumped out of the boat, put the plug back in the boat to access water. So water didn't keep pushing and filling back the boat.
According to their own words, they went into the mouth and then they turned and they went about 500-600 feet. Now, mind you, the party house is right around, but they go past it and then loop back around. However, Warren just admitted that at some point they had to stop and Wyatt jumped in. Even then, you heard him stuttering over the story. Like, it wasn't a smooth transition, because I think they dropped her off. Which would explain why they would go back to this party, because obviously they can't cancel the party. That looks really suspicious. Then, my theory has always been that the guys all, like, broke off and, like, talked to the parents about what was going on, and that's when they formulated their whole, we'll call her and then we'll call the Coast Guard plan. Remember, she is related, somehow I can't figure out, but she is related through marriage to the lieutenant that wrote up the very initial report we've seen. Because remember how Morgan claimed that the picture of the boat stuff was circulating around Snapchat and stuff, even though Christine didn't post it to her Facebook page until the next day. Listen to this.
His mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out. I said black. Yeah, I think we said black. I really did. He was wearing navy blue. Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts. Dark. I just said black because I was trying to ace everything together and help out. And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing.
So remember, the girl who took the picture with the digital camera was on Wyatt's boat at the beginning of the day and then was there with them at night when they were having this discussion. So she had to have been there at the beginning and at the party at the very least. Then we remember that the original shorts picture, well, that wasn't the color of his shorts, as we now know. But we also know for a fact that this picture did not get sent to Christine until July 5th, meaning that
they killed Nolan Wells on the boat.
TikTok users just raised a disturbing boat question. And before this video is over, you are going to understand exactly why that question could change everything. His phone came back without him. His phone, his car keys, made it to the mainland. He didn't. And now his mother, a grieving mother, has gone to court.
Nolan is found deceased. How do you guys think that this should have been put out to the world?
So, first off, I wish that none of this would ever happen. I wish Nolan could still be here with us today. And I wish that, like I said, none of this would ever happen. I wish that all this could be erased and Nolan could be here tomorrow. I mean, that's more than anything. Other than that, I feel like his mom blasting us on social media from the get-go, saying that he was out there with Warren and another guy. That's where it first started to take off. And then also the fact that she posted a picture of me and Morgan and another guy and Nolan on the boat together, blasting that out there, pushing this narrative, kind of, I guess. I wish that would have never happened either. And I don't think those would never happen. A lot of this stuff wouldn't have been as viral or gone all over the country at this point. I mean, this is a countrywide news story that is just blown out of proportion, and the fact that it was our best friend and it's not what people are saying it is what hurts the most. I mean, that was our brother. I mean, straight up. That's what I told his dad the night that he came over to my house. He was like, blah, blah, saying something. I was like, dude, that was my brother. Like, and you know that. He knows that. We were picking him up every single day. He never drove. I can't tell you how many times I pulled up in his driveway and picked him up. And it wasn't him asking, it was just because that's what we did. We just picked up Nolan all the time. That's how we, came about to all the stuff that we were going to. We'd go and pick him up. That's how much we like to be around him. We'd do stuff like that all the time,
I don't care about the rest.
Yeah.
You can say what you want to say about me. You can try to tear me down, but that is not going to take my voice away. You're not going to break me to where I can't advocate for my child. It's not happening. And by the grace of God, we will get answers and we will get justice.
We have a new picture that has emerged. It is a whole group of people on the 4th of July getting onto what is believed to be Fart Jr.'s boat. But you know who's missing? Warren's missing because that's kind of weird. Maybe it's just me. As that in Officer Race Tatum's podcast, if you can call it a shitcast, that Warren said he went out on his buddy's boat. And I thought that meant Fart Jr.'s boat, but we don't see Warren here in this picture in my Nancy Grace voice. So what is going on? I am not seeing a horse dragging this cart. Is he inside? Getting White Claws? Chilled out? I don't know, bro. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
They killed Nolan Wells on the boat. They covered him up with little life jackets. They all knew he was on the boat. They just laid him on the back of the boat and got towed in part of the way. Then they got their boat running and they got on in. And when they got in, they couldn't figure out where they were going to put him or what they were going to do. So they dropped everybody off. Then they went back out to the island that the GPS doesn't show, but they did because they disconnected it, okay? And none of them had their phones with them when they went back. So there wasn't any trace of them going back. And they dumped the body. They came back, took the boat out of the water, then went over there at 3 a.m. and washed the boat, thinking washing the boat would get all the DNA and everything off the boat.
The girl that Nolan Wells was allegedly with is speaking out, and there's some contradictions. Now, Katie is obviously cooperating with authorities, so is her sister, and so is the brother and the brother's fiance. They're also cooperating with Nolan Wells' family. From what we understand, they're all on the same page, Katie and Nolan Wells' family. According to Katie's sister, Nolan Wells and Katie were on Horn Island talking, communicating, having a good time. Eventually, Katie was picked up by her brother and the brother's fiance via boat. The sister alleges that Katie mentioned to her, again, hearsay, but again, that Katie mentioned to her that her brother and the fiance picked her up from Horn Island and, left. And that Katie assumed that Nolan was going to go back with the friends that he ended up on Horn Island with. So again, Nolan Wells showed up with a bunch of people when he originally met Katie. Katie assumed that he was just going to leave with those said friends. It's also very important that we mention that Katie has been extremely cooperative with authorities. I know I mentioned it already, I'm going to mention it again, and very cooperative with the Wells family, answering pretty much any question that they have about what happened. So she seems to be very vocal, very...
They killed